Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today I have two replays to show you in the brand new Tier 9 British Premium Medium Tank, the Old Reliable. And this is another licensed vehicle, and this time it is the Vinnie Jones edition. So you've got a pretty cool skin on the tank. And what is this tank? So what I'm going to do before I get into the replays, it's a brand new tank, so I'm going to quickly go over and explain that. So if you ever played the Tier 9 British Premium Tank, the Cobra, it's basically the same tank in the sense it's the same chassis, same turret, etc. Everything about that side of the tank is pretty much the same. With the exception of it's got a different gun. So rather than having an autoloader, this time it is a single shot firing gun. And basically you got 400 alpha on the standard APCR rounds with 1020 shell velocity. But with decent pen, 268. But then, the real key of the tank, the unique element, it's got 210 Hesh pen, but with 540 Hesh alpha. So if you're using those Hesh, if you're using those Hesh rounds and you're penning them, you can rack up a lot of damage pretty quickly. You then got 120 penetration on your HE with 570 alpha. So that's pretty much it for the tank. I mean, it's basically got good gun depression. You've got 10 degrees of gun depression. Mobility's okay, a little bit on the slow side. I think it could be a little bit faster. And it's got okay camo. Reload, I think it's got it down to about 9.48 seconds. And that means if you're firing the standard rounds for the 400 alpha, if your DPM's on the lower side, probably like on one of the worst for the Tier 9 mediums. But then if you're penning the Hesh pen, then that's a completely different story because you've got 540 alpha. Now, this tank is it costs about 16,000 gold. Now, is it worth that? I don't know. That's a lot of gold, if I'm honest, for a Tier 9 tank. And I think it should be a little bit less expensive than that. Just my own personal opinion. But, if you're like me and you've just got a problem and you can't help getting all the tanks, then, yeah, it's a pretty decent tank. I mean, it's not ridiculously overpowered, but it is decent. But that's enough of me rambling. Let's just see what the tank can do, and I'll explain more as we play. Okay then, so here we are for the replay number 1 on Hidden Village. It is a Tier 10 matchmaking. There's one enemy fun police in the game and one enemy light tank. Now, Hidden Village, I'm not a massive fan of the map, if I'm honest, but I'm going to go to sort of the left-hand side, try and use my gun depression on the middle ridge, and hope the enemy artillery isn't looking to destroy my day, essentially. So that's what I'm going to do at the start. I mean, the Hesh rounds on this are really nice when you pen them, but one thing to watch out for, they do have slow shell velocity, 793, so you do need to make sure you lead your shells well in order to hit those shots. Now, unlike the Cobra, this is nowhere near as derpy as the Cobra. Once you put stabs on this tank, which you do need, it is on the derpier side, it really helps the tank. And then it's not that bad, if I'm honest. It's not that inaccurate. But like I say, you do really require the stabs, if I'm honest. Otherwise, without the stabs, it can feel a little bit too bad. So you get a really nice early Hesh pen there into the lower plate, picking up 509 damage straight off the start of this game. Now, like I say, this is where the Hesh rounds, that's a low roll. Some of the Hesh rolls I've had, I've rolled for like 600, and it's been absolutely filthy, to be honest with you. So, decent start to this game. We've ended up, between our team, we've taken care of the tank already. And I'm going to look now, because it looks pretty much like this enemy patterns, pretty much on his own. Doesn't have a lot of support there. We get another nice Hesh pen there, putting us onto 1,000 damage. We invade the enemy artillery shell, aka the fun police, and now we're looking to go behind on this Trinity. Now, I kind of wished I had the APCR rounds loaded for this, just because the Trinity has a lot of space armor, and I just shot the space armor, which was a bit stupid, and yeah, it got absorbed, and we only did 100 splash damage. I'll swap back to the APCR just so we can try and finish this off, and then he just turns at the wrong moment, and we bounce anyway. So not a great little bit there. I could have got a little bit more damage, but it looks like the enemy team are pushing our base, and this actually puts us in a really good position, because now we can shoot down on all these tanks, and we've taken like the main control away. I'm not really concerned about our base being capped, and we get an absolutely filthy Hesh roll into that guy, and I think that puts us, I think we hit him for about 1,000. I mean, that, you know, with the fire, that was absolutely disgusting. That's really helped us out. Enemy artillery is leaving. We get another nice juicy Hesh pen into the enemy artillery, picking up some more damage there, putting us on to sort of 2,600 damage. And again, we're in a good position on Hidden Village because, like I say, this is perfect for us, really, just where all the enemy team are positioned, and we've got the high ground on them. We'll try and get another shot there into the Jagdtiger, putting this on to about sort of 2,800 damage there. And like I say, the enemy team are pushing our base, but they're kind of stuck there. I'm just going to make sure I pen these shots here. I swapped to the ABCR just because I wanted to be able to reliably pen the Jagdtiger if he got spotted. With Hesh pen, I'm not going to be guaranteed to pen this lower plate. But I should maybe have a shot here at the other enemy artillery, Sturv. But now I've decided, you know, these tanks have got too much camo. I am actually going to pull back and try and defend my base because I've got a suspicion that I'm going to have better shots available to me. So we're having a really decent game here. There's still 7 tanks remaining, so we're hoping to try and get some more damage out of this. Now we've loaded our Hesh because we want to try and catch someone off guard. When we see his enemy T-77, we can pen this turret if he's facing like this. Thankfully he stays still, and we get a nice Hesh pen then into that T-77, putting him onto a one shot. We then spot this enemy Standard B, which we can also pen. Again, we get a nice roll in there, putting us onto 4,200 damage. And there's only 4 enemy teammates remaining now. So we're going to try and push in and see what we can get. Enemy SU gets spotted, and I'm thinking, lovely, I can get a nice shot, but I'm kind of somewhat trapped in the bamboo. Unfortunately, that misses. Like I say, the shell velocity is pretty slow. But then there's this enemy general, and I'm kind of stuck here because I want to go and push and get shots into the SU. But I'm also don't want to get clipped out by the general. So, you know, I feel like we're going to win this game. But thankfully, the general pushes us, and then we're able to get that shot in, putting us on to just shy of 5,000 damage. And 3 enemy tanks remaining. So enemy IS-7 there, but we've got the rear of the tank. Hopefully, as long as this goes true, we can pen that tank. And we do pen him with a Hesh, puts us on to 5,400 damage. Looking to try and get the finishing shot there on the IS-7. And then it's just this enemy SU. And we want to make sure we pen. We can definitely pen the SU with our Hesh rounds. Just hoping he keeps his hit points long enough to get that shot in. And we do manage to squeeze that shot in there. And then he gets taken out. Bring this end to replay number 1. So let's just get to the scoreboard. See how we got on. Then we'll move on to the final replay. So, very quick game there. But we had a good result. We picked up 2 kills, 6,000 damage. 400 assistance, high caliber, and the first class. So that's it for replay number 1, but let's move on to the final replay. Okay, so we made it to the final replay here on Nelberg, the community map. This time it's a tier 10 matchmaking again. There's no enemy light tank, but there is 2 enemy fun police in the game, which can be a problem. So initially we're going to go to the top of the castle, which, to be honest, I don't really like doing that much normally because you can get shot by the tank destroyers that camp their base if you poke up too high. But I thought I was going to try something different at the start of this game. I was just trying things out, and I was going to see if I could push to the right hand side and try and get into a position so I can shoot the enemy tanks if they poke up high. So, like I say, I'm looking to try and cross here, but this is risky. And I quickly realised this is not something I want to do because I get spotted and I think this is not going to end well. Thankfully, the enemy Italian medium tank bounces their shell there and we're able to pull back and we don't take any damage from it. But I decided that is not a good play. That could have gone a lot worse for us. But thankfully it didn't. There is 3 tanks around here. But like I say, the thing is, if I poke round now to try and get a shot in, there's lots of TDs which quite often camp on our enemy in the base, basically on that hill, and they can get good shots into you when you poke round like that. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk it. There's also 2 enemy artillery in the game, and it's just I don't fancy it. So I'm going to try and see if we can do something else. A lot of our teammates have pushed into the town area, so I'm going to see if I can maybe support them and see if we can get any cross shots into any of this, like Conqueror or anything like that, or maybe we can try and peek round and get some shots onto those tanks in the castle from this sort of side. As that happens, an enemy Earthshaker drives in. Now, I probably should swap to the Hesh because I can pen this tank with the Hesh and I'd get more damage. Definitely by the way he's going, I easily would have penned that with a Hesh because it was a rear shot. But we don't, and we only get 800 damage out of those 2 shots rather than sort of, potentially over, over 1,000. So, there's that sort of, the situation was in. A Waffle gets spotted. We get a nice shot into him. We immediately swap to the Hesh. We can definitely pen that Waffle with the Hesh. I'm looking to try and get another shot in. I thought he was going to pull back, but he stopped looking for a shot for us. And that's not really a great trade. We do pen him with the Hesh, but we lost like half our hit points for that. So not really ideal, but we're still in the game, and we're just going to look now to see if we can get any more shots on these tanks onto the castle. And I'm going to try and hug this sort of left-hand wall if I like. I want to try and get some shots in here and then try and hug the left-hand wall so I don't, or the wall in front of me here, because I don't want to go out too far to my left, because obviously, like I say, there could be tanks camping on that hill and I don't want to get shot by them. So I'm trying to make sure I don't poke out too far, but I want to try and get shots into this like enemy Ruthless and these tank destroyers, because I do have nice side shots into them. I get a shot there into the Earthshaker. I was kind of had awkward gun depression issues there, so I couldn't get the pen into a lower plate like I would like to, and I didn't want to risk getting shot by the tank destroyer, so I just dumped my shell, and now we're going to try and get another one into him, see if we can finish him off. And then it looks like he might have either pulled back or he's pulled right back, so we don't have a shot, but we do have a shot here into this enemy heavy tank. We get a lovely Hesh pen through his engine deck there and damage his engine deck, but then to make life more hard and more difficult for us, the enemy Fun Police has shots. Now I think if I hug the wall from where the artillery is on the hill, I don't think he can shoot me. It just makes it a little bit awkward for me. I think when I poke up high, he can, but if I stay sort of here, it looks like he can't quite get the shots across the wall to get into me. So I'm going to hug this wall, lose my spot, and then hopefully try and poke up again, get a shot, and then pull that back quickly. One thing this tank does do well is it does reverse quite well, so it doesn't take you too long to actually get out of there. Try and get a rear shot there into the enemy Shah. Unfortunately, we don't manage to full pen him there, but we do get a little bit of a splash. I think it gets absorbed by his track somewhat. Enemy artillery is being a pain. He's been shooting at me a lot, making my life very difficult, but thankfully at least he's not hitting those shots. Looking to try and get the rear shot into Shah again. This time we do pen him and we slap him there, putting us onto 3,800 damage. Still a very, very close game. It's pretty even all the way through in this game, to be honest, which is nice. It's nice to have those games where it's not just a complete waffle stomp. Like to be able to try and think and see how we're going to try and get the win. But I don't like where I am. The artillery just was constantly shooting me, and I was just finding it difficult. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and move now and see if we can find a different position. So we're having the right game. Shame we lost that shot on the waffle earlier, because that's kind of put us on a half health. Would have been nice to have those hit points later game. But we've got about 4,000 damage there, and there's 7 enemy tanks remaining still. Now this enemy Ruthless, I'm hoping that he's not going to be paying attention and the back chat can clip him out, because that Ruthless is a real threat to us. But that's not going to be the case, and I'm going to try and get into cover, because I do not want to get destroyed by that Ruthless. He gets slapped by our friendly artillery, which is good, and it puts him onto a one-shot, potential one-shot to us, but we're also a one-shot to that Ruthless. So I would like to get rid of him, because he's in a position where he's in the centre of the map. He can spot us, and it's not ideal having that tank there, because we're pretty much wherever we go, there's a chance he's got shots into us. So we're looking to try and sneak a shot into him, but we just can't quite get it in. Hoping maybe the artillery can finish him off if we're lucky, because like I say, he's causing us a bit of a. He's in quite a strong position. He's just going to spot us, or he's going to have shots, and it's going to make life hard. So I kind of want to get rid of this tank if we can. We're starting to, one of the enemy tanks kills itself somehow, so it starts to put us in the lead a little bit now. 7 tanks to 5, but still, it's very close. We don't want to throw our tank away, because anything can happen at this point. I'm looking to try and come round and see if we can get another shot in this Ruthless, because he's moving across. It's looking like the back chat is going to be able to take him out, which does help us out somewhat. at this point I'm thinking, well, the enemy artillery is in the base, and also I know the enemy Lover just got spotted, tier 8 German heavy tanks, so we kind of know where 2 of the tanks are. And I'm thinking, do we try and make the cross and get over there so we can start, you know, the Lover I can pen in the lower plate. I don't know his hit points, but we spot them. I've got 2 enemy artilleries, sorry, 2 friendly artilleries which can get shots into them. So I'm looking to try and make the cross, but as that happens, the German medium tank looks like he's going to potentially spot us in the open, and we don't want to get caught in the open. So I'll make a little detour and go around this sort of side. So I'm a little bit safer because I can try and, if I get spotted, I've got a cover where I can try and get to, rather than get caught out dead in the open of the map, and then, you know, he's going to farm me before I get a chance to do anything about it. Just like, unfortunately, what happened to our Tiger 2 there. Looking to try and get a retaliation shot in there. I thought he was going to carry on moving. Unfortunately, I don't full pen that, but we do sort of splash him, and he's put him down onto, you know, probably a 2-shot to us there, putting us onto 4,000 damage and 1,200 assistance. I'm going to go and try and make this play again, because I'm starting to run out now of ground. But unfortunately, the Lover was already on a low ground. We do get a shot into him, but he puts one into us, and now we are kind of stuck. And we're not in a good position. I really need our friendly Earthshaker though. He should be in a good position to cover us in the middle. I just want him to keep poking for vision, because my main threat now is that I'm kind of stuck here, and that medium tank, you know, if he's smart, can go all the way around the outside of the map and potentially kill me. So I need the Earthshaker to be able to just kind of stop that by spotting them. Lover pokes up. And the enemy artillery's up, but like I say, we still have our friendly artillery, so if I can keep spotting these tanks, maybe we can keep picking up some assistance. And we do spot them there, we pick up a bit of assistance there, putting us onto 1,500. I'm going to try and keep spotting them again, but then I realise the enemy artillery, he's obviously had enough, and he's going to try and come for us. But we get 1 pen into him there, putting him onto a 1-shot with our Hesh. We should be able to pen him again, but we've got to be careful. I'm concerned I'm going to get shot in the rear by the medium. Artillery comes around and we take him out, putting us on to 5,000 damage and puts us into a 4 versus 2. It's just that I'm stuck here, because if I try and retreat, that Lover's going to spot me, and also that medium tank, I just don't know where he is. I'm on 500 hit points. Lover shoots, misses, and I'm going to try and get a shot into the lower plate, which I do squeeze in there, putting us onto 5,500 damage there, and 1 kills. But like I say, I'm just stuck in this situation. I'm fully expecting that enemy medium tank to come round. I'll get shot again. We try and squeeze in another shot. We do squeeze one in, putting us onto 6,000 damage there. But I'm now getting targeted and shot by the rear, and there you go, the medium did come round. I really kind of wanted our Earthshaker just to try and keep vision on the hill for us, to try and stop that happening. But it doesn't. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to speed this up, and we're going to come and talk to you when we get to the score line, so we can see what happens. There you go, we do manage to get the win in the end, and we get 1 kill, 6,000 damage, 1,500 assistance. the high caliber and the first class. So that brings us then to the video, and all what's left to do is say thank you so much for your support, and remember, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!